Imagine you had access to leaders in the wellness space to ask them, what is the one thing I could do today that's going to initiate healing in my body? That's exactly what this episode is all about. I'm your host, Jane Hogan. This is Wellness by Design, and I've got 14 of my guests from the past year of 2024. And at the end of the podcast, you may know I always ask this question: what's one thing someone could do that's going to initiate healing? And I've compiled 14 of them in this podcast, their answers for you, so you can take it all in. And it might surprise you. They are so varied. Some of them have similar themes, but quite varied, and you'd be surprised. And we've also got some great practices in there for you. So I hope you enjoy this episode. And all of the speakers, you can see the speaker's name and the episode that the excerpt was taken from in the show notes or the description. All right, I'll see you inside. Enjoy the episode.
Yeah, my big thing, my big emphasis is starting at the absolute ground. And the absolute ground means turning your attention inward and finding some format for turning your attention inward. We have this default sensing mechanism that orients ourselves towards the outside world, the external world, and in many ways, seeing ourselves in relationship to other things. But the spiritual journey and the healing journey and the inner journey is when we learn something away, and meditation is the simplest way to describe this, is where we turn our attention inward and we start to notice just simply what's happening, developing something to gives us the ability to be objective about what thought is present right now, what feeling is present right now. And this is not easy to do for many people, especially at the beginning, because it can be really messy in there. It can be really, really messy. Your mind, the default human mind, is literally spewing out unconscious, subconscious thoughts full-time, 24/7 that you don't choose, that you're not aware of happening. And when you actually turn inward and you start to look at what's going on in there, it can seem like a lot to take on. So what I'd say is find the right amount of time for you. But what's it like if you don't do this yet? I would challenge anybody listening to this. If you don't do this yet, if you've never done this, what's it like to just literally take a timer for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and just close your eyes and to just notice what in totality, what are you experiencing right now? And can you just start to witness that? And to witness it means don't judge it. Don't try and make it different. Don't think that it should be a particular way. Just literally be aware and neutral of what's happening. And that alone will take you anywhere you need to go. That is what meditation offers you.
Well, I say get outside and get some sunshine. Even if it is winter, it's still like the sun has so much for us besides tanning. There's the red light, the infrared. So get outside, get some sun on your face. And then if I can add one more, I would just say, like, I have the 8 steps, and of course we make amazing dental products, but if you just ditch whatever you're using right now and just even bought and used baking soda for the rest of your life, you'd be 1,000 times better off.
I use baking soda, and every time I go to my hygienist, she goes, "Are you still using baking soda?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Wow, there's not even much corrosion. Well, no corrosion there." I'm like, because that's what they say, don't use it because of the corrosion.
No. Which
I'm
is
using it twice a day and no problem.
Yeah, again, some dentists, no, it's not going to corrode. It's total BS. So anything that's in the mouth, like there's a RDA rating and a Mohs hardness scale. So RDA, it's not the vitamin one, but it's about the hardness and the abrasivity. I hope I've got the terms right. But anyway, baking soda is a 7. Tom's sensitive toothpaste is 70. Most toothpaste are 100 and over 100 in their abrasivity factor. Baking soda is beautiful and fine, and you could brush your teeth with it, all day long.
Okay, so let me start out by saying the universe is actually always got a wind at our back. It's always trying to lead us to health and well-being and wellness by design. That's its purpose, is the universe. That's the whole purpose of the universe. So I know we don't often think that way because we grew up and, I have a crush on so-and-so. Would you bring her to me? No, that's not an example of how we're growing and evolving into our higher self. So those kinds of prayers tend not to bring somebody to you where you had a crush in an early age or something, but where we are doing what we're talking about, where we're just saying, okay, the surrender, okay, I'm ready. I just want to go to a happy place, a joyful place, a place where it can really, this delicious life thing, where it can really happen to me. And then we bring that into our daily practice. Okay. And I'd recommend a daily practice. Don't try and go into a vacuum, the mindfulness of just still the mind. There's nothing there. I'm just kind of in, with a mantra or something. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but what I'm recommending, what I want to suggest people try is go instead to the real world where God is actually right here. There is no separation at all. She is, or he, she has no gender, of course, is right here. That the 2 billion times 3 trillion stars, that power plant is here. And if you just try to trust it, just say, okay, even if just say, oh, well, the speaker, some guy named Steve said, try it, so I'm here trying it. Tell me that, have some communication with me. Let me feel that you've heard my prayer. Let's begin a relationship. If you do that, I believe that things will happen. You will feel a power within you. And you can start then a whole series of daily practices that I actually do this many times a day. I run to my daily practice. I don't run away, a monkey mind. I run to it I'm going to run up and just, again, sit right back down and feel into these beautiful things happening to me and this work we're doing and the world around me that's healing. I mean, I run into it many times during the day because I feel that power plan of God saying, you bet I've got the wind at your back.
Okay. So what I would invite everyone to do is just be aware and notice yourself for today, right? And when you're noticing yourself, if you notice any like a mean part of you judging yourself or squishing you down or not letting you express something that you feel is appropriate to express, like or is, I don't know if appropriate's the right word there, but anyway, just noticing that and bringing in the compassion, like really practicing compassion and saying, hey, like, oh, you broke that glass. Okay, that's okay. Like, we're going to get another glass. We're good. You don't have to, nitpick at yourself. And just bringing in that compassion of, hey, we get to have mistakes and it's okay. And the mistakes don't have to be mistakes. It's just, oh, I get to be more present when I put away the glass or whatever, right? So just noticing yourself and noticing how you communicate with yourself and how you hold yourself and support yourself through it.
This is what I would say. I would say we had talked about always start with the positive, but there's a major error that people make when they're doing this. So we know that the mind works in patterns, right? So we talked about patterns, and another way to think about it is that we need new neural pathways. And if we think about somebody who's walking through the grass, like we picture a big field of grass. And if somebody walks a different way through the grass every day, they don't make a path. But if somebody takes the same way through the grass every day, they make a path. And what happens with people a lot of times with positive thinking, they say, well, I just want to take positive anyway through the grass is fine. But our brains work in patterns and neural pathways. So they never establish a positive habit for the mind for positive, what I call positive emotional patterning. And so positive emotional patterning is a key to creating the change. And so what I ask people to do is just pick 1 or 2 emotions and focus on those to ingrain them. Now, I know gratitude is a common one that people pick, and I wouldn't suggest starting with that one, though it can be great for some people. A lot of times people also may feel a sense of, maybe they have underlying feelings of guilt or feeling undeserving. And so if they feel guilt or undeserving and you bring in gratitude, it's not going to be the optimal one that'll carry you the furthest. It'll be maybe harder to bring in than some others. And then people will feel guilty for not feeling grateful. They're like, well, shouldn't I feel grateful for this? And so it becomes a thing. So I wouldn't necessarily start with, in some cases, I would say, let's say somebody brings in confidence at the same time. then they could, and so again, it goes back to combinations, but for simplicity, let's say creating a new positive emotion. Now, what can you do to create this? Now, to create a new neural pathway, we have to do something with repetition. And an easy way to think about that is like the alphabet. Is to remember the alphabet, we have to bring in the alphabet every day. We memorize the alphabet. For me, during my injury, for me to somehow suddenly bring in positive happiness and really strong feelings would have been impossible for me to access multiple times a day, over and over and over, to then reprogram my nervous system. It would have been impossible. So what I did is hack the process. And I picked 2 songs, and I started just using 2 songs to then create a feeling really, really strong. Now, some people, as soon as I say this, will say, oh, a happy playlist. That's what I want to do. And no, remember, we want a path. And so basically what I did is I used one song that I used was Beautiful Day by U2. Another song I used was Walking on Sunshine and It's Gonna Feel Good by Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah.
I would listen to these songs and I would literally just amplify the feeling as much as I could. I just would focus on just that to not only help by getting it in over and over and over, that feeling, but to also help to create a biochemical response. And so as I just amplified it at first, I was not good at it. I could access the feeling a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And I got good at bringing it in. So where then it started programming in positive. And as silly or as simple as it may seem, that gets into your subconscious mind and it starts to create a nice radical shift.
I would say to feel and sense what's happening in here, do that heart breath every time life gives you a challenge and you feel that crunchy gridlock. Do the heart breath, because if anything we said here inspired with you, like resonated with you, inspired you, lit you up, put a spark, it's because that is your truth. That is in you. It's not like I'm some special person or I have anything that you can't access yourself. And so remember that and go to the universal source connection within yourself, and then it will come through you in every way.
I would say the very first thing I would invite you to do is to go look in a mirror. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to do anything. Just see your beautiful self.
So simple.
Just see your beautiful, beautiful self.
Which parallels our thought today. Intention is intelligence. What am I getting at? Your mental state, your emotions. What's thinking, what is feeling? A thought is non-physical scalar energy. An emotion is non-physical scalar energy. And this has been proven. The way you think, the way you feel is the way you project, not only to yourself, but to others. Everybody's in control of the scalar energy force field. Our thoughts transcend time and space. They are non-physical scalar energy thoughts. Our feelings transcend time and space. That's non-physical intelligence that likewise transcends time and space. I've always said this: God has given everybody a mind and a heart. Use that appropriately to heal yourself, to make your life better, happier. The way we think, the way we feel dictates the outcome in our life.
I talk about this, like chapter 8 in the book is future gazing with God. If you sit down and write down like everything that you are frustrated with yourself right now, and then try to see yourself through your creator's eyes. How does he see you? What do you think is your, all the gifts that you have, and try to get there. If you can visualize a future self, like not in pain, not tired, how does that woman look? Like, what does she look like? What does she do during the day? What does she eat? Who does she interact with? And then if you get clarity on that woman you want to become, you can start saying, what does she do during the day? And you can start to incorporate and live into that woman you want to become. So you have to see yourself in the future and then work backwards. That was what did it for me. I realized one day, I said, I want to drink coffee when I see my patients. I want to do this. And I got super clear. And a couple of years later, I was sitting in my office at home, seeing my patients online, drinking my coffee, walking my dogs, going to work out, and doing all the things that I had future gazed. And that was so powerful. And every woman can do that. That's free. You just need to sit down and do it. If you want more guidance, it's in the book. But like, just get clarity on what you do want for your life, you know?
Boy, if I'm going to say that, it's like, yeah, we know that, but I'm going to say it anyhow, right? Because I think we can do such a loving service to each other to remind each other what we can do. And it's just one word: breathe. And then now what? No, it's not even a doing, it's actually receiving. Because interesting enough, breath comes. Have you ever tried to hold your breath? It's like you just got to let go. And what a beautiful experience. Like you close your nose and you're, oh, I'm going to hold my breath now. You have to let go because the next breath does want to connect with you. Why? Because it's the vehicle of life.
It is. It is.
Life wants to come to you.
It is life.
Yeah, let's invite it and let's just become aware of the next breath. Make it deeper, make it longer, make it full of intention, like a deep, juicy inhale. And then this incredible, luxurious, long exhale, where everything that doesn't serve you anymore gets exhaled. That alone.
So, earlier I mentioned don't look back, but I'm going to contradict myself and say look back. The reason why, and this goes along with one of the practices of the whole mindset type training, and focus training, is we call it counting wins, or like seeing the gains. So often we're told, okay, don't look back, just look forward. The problem with that is then we don't see our progress and we can't feel good. Like how you said, we don't reinforce feeling good about the progress that we've made towards whatever goal it is that you want. So every night I write down, okay, what do I want to accomplish the next day or do the next day? What are my, and it could be something mental, physical, emotional, relationship wise, whatever it is, business, career. And so I write those down, like 3 to 5 at the most. And I put at the top success tomorrow. And I write these down.
Heading.
So then at the end of the day, that, the next day I go to bed, I look to see and I count those wins that I move towards that. And you can do it throughout the day too. But this is for, let's say you have a goal to losing weight is an easy one, or I should say an easy topic because many people deal with that. You're going to list not, okay, I lost 5 pounds today. That's the result. You're going to list the things that you did that moved you closer to that goal. Okay. So even if you had 3 donuts, like, oh crap, I had 3 donuts. All right. Well, you didn't have 5 that you did a week ago.
Yeah.
You ate a salad, you drank your water. Like all these things that led you towards that ideal, you're counting that. So this is different than thinking positive because it's actually something that you did. So your brain can point to, hey, no, I drank my water. I'm flushing out the toxins. Well, yeah, I'm nourishing my body with these healthy foods. Even if you did have a slip up, you're bringing the attention and focus to the wins. So that's why I say by look back, look at your progress. Because so often we get caught in, I got to get to there, when you look back like, holy cow, I was way back there and I'm here now.
Yeah.
place your hands on the area of your body that hurts the most. And tune in. And if one of those places is an energy point that we just went through, then in the book, Get Quiet, I would direct them to that particular chapter.
Okay.
So it's just one area of your body. Tune in and ask your body, what do I need? Your body will talk to you.
Well, I'm going to give a two-pronged step.
Okay.
First is find time every day to be still and connect to your body. That's number one. I believe we've been so disconnected from ourselves and from our bodies, especially moms who are busy, right? Taking care of kids, we're working, we're a wife, we're helping our friends. We are constantly in doing mode. So just taking those, even if it's micro minutes of 5 minutes, go stand outside and under the sun for a minute or in the rain, and just take those minutes to connect to your body. And then the other one is listen to the messages that come. And, that's where the magic is in our lives. And we miss it because of the busyness.
A baby step. This is going to sound weird, but
weird is good. I like weird.
Okay. With our hands, we do not use our hands in the way that, that really empowers us. And we can take our hands and literally full contact on our face and just hold your own face like you would a baby's face. Go down and make full contact with your entire body, your neck, your chest, your breast, your shoulders. You can go slow, you can do it in swooping motions, but what I want is the whole palm of your hand and the entirety of your hand on every ounce and inch of body that you can connect with. And go down and go around your feet and under your heels and go on your elbows and underneath your arms, every single inch of your body. Not only is it soothing, but it's like, it's so loving, like most of us need touch. We know that, but to make full contact, if you can do this with another person, that's beautiful too. But we can do it with ourselves. We can do it every day, just to make full contact. It will help us get into our body. It will help us be more intimate with ourselves, to know ourselves better, and to use the energy in a healing way with ourselves. But we have to do it with love.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that and the words of wisdom from our experts. Now, don't try to implement everything everyone said. Of course, there may be one or two that stood out for you. And go with your intuition and your gut on this. Go with those one or two things that would work for you in your life. And then begin to create that healing environment in your body. Now, stay tuned next week because I've got part 2, 14 more experts and their tips on how you can do one thing today that's going to initiate healing in your body. So don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. All right, I'll see you again on the next episode of Wellness by Design.